Well, we're returning to talking about the potential for the marina in Ramsey. Disruption when it's being built, if it gets built, is that going to be a major concern for people?
Well, clearly we would have to do a traffic study, transportation, to agree with the Ramsey Town Commissioners and Highways Division quite how we do it. Basically, I think we are looking more towards bringing the materials in by sea. I mean, for the dredging point of view and reclaiming the land, what we dig out of the ground to do the dredging will be used to fill the and create the land. So no sand will have to be imported, and no sand will have to be dumped offshore, which we know from Peel is an issue. So, but undoubtedly we'd have to bring material in for the breakwater from across somewhere. I'm hoping we can get it from Glensander in Scotland and barge it in and drop the rocks in at low water. If you look at Cowes, where I do most of my sailing, I mean, they've built a breakwater right out in the middle of the harbour, and everything was brought in by barge. Okay. So that's what we intend to do.
How much government money involved?
None at all.
Oh, come on, you're going to go for some grants. I mean, there'll be some grants sitting there looking at you, surely.
Well, we're clearly entitled to what any other new business is entitled to in terms of grants. Yes, but I thought you were referring to capital input.
Whatever. But you'll take what's available.
Well, yes, if someone's going to hold their hand out, we'll gladly take it.
And the flats and that sort of part of it, is that where the money for you will come from?
Absolutely.
Selling those?
Yeah. Now, this is the fundamental way of our financial approach. It's a tried and tested formula, together with debentures on the berths. Most of the marinas down on the south coast of the UK were funded through sale of debentures. So you'd be paying £3,000 or £4,000 a year for your berth. By a 30-year lease on the berth, you'd be paying £100,000, £120,000.
What's a good example of what you intend to do? I mean, the one that's already done, people can look online and see, oh, that's what it'll look like. Is there a clear example like that?
I will use Greystones just across the water, south of Dublin, as an example, and very similar. If you step outside, you'll see that we've got rotating pictures of all the other marinas in the Northern Irish Sea and southern Scotland, just to show people what other seaside communities are building, because they see the economic advantages of having these sort of facilities. So there's a lot of, and you'll notice on our website and on the boards in the town hall, is that we have used Largs as a case study. Very similar approach with the development, similar number of jobs being created, etc., etc.
What sort of money is it going to put into the economy? I mean, boaties, I've seen many marinas, and I kind of see how it brings in money, and it seems like we've not done that here yet, although Peel might say that that's what they've been doing. Is it going to bring a lot of money into Ramsey?
I think so, very much so. I mean, there's various different types. You've got residents who will keep their boats here, and say there's 200, 300 residents who keep their boat, they would come into Ramsey. We believe that there will be 15 or 18,000 visitor days a year from those residents using their boats. Then we've got the people who keep their boats here from across, people who sail here from Whitehaven or Dunleary or wherever it is, and then the people who are transiting the Irish Sea. On top of that, we can organise offshore races. The Royal Ocean Racing Club are interested in doing that. The Ocean Cruising Club is interested in bringing 50 to 100 boats.
So the money coming in there, but will local Joe Bloggs, he's got a small little to be able to get
so the other half of the quotient is how much they spend, and so we're talking about over 10,000 visitor nights a year put together.
They're staying on the boats, right? They're not staying in hotels or something.
Well, actually, we've been talking to Premier Marinas down in the south coast, and they've built a hotel in one of their marinas, and the biggest single category of clients in the hotel are actually the owners of the gin palaces.
They want to get off the things.
They might have the latest jacuzzi, bubble bath or whatever, but
it's restaurants, isn't it? And things like that. Those sort of things I'm thinking of when I've seen these sort of marinas. That foodies, boaties go and become foodies.
Richard Arning, who's been giving me a hand on doing the market research, has shown that based on what's happened in Scotland and in Ireland, these visitors would spend up to £180 a day in Ramsey. So for 10,000 visitors, you can see that's where I said 1 million in some of the earlier interviews, but it looks actually as though we might have undercooked it. We'll take time to get there, but ultimately I believe that we would, with turning Ramsey into a sailing competitive venue, with more people coming to do dinghy sailing for a week, we'd probably get up to about £3.5 million a year going into the local economy.
Any other big concerns that were showing so far, before they meet tonight? Other things that people are worried about?
There's a lot of fake news, as Mr. Trump would say. So we're not touching the inside of the harbour. There's nothing at all. And clearly, we've got the dogs, walkers, and the beach, and those seem to be the three recurring themes.
And if you were a betting man, what timescale would you put on this?
Well, we clearly want to get the breakwater in and the dredging done in one summer season, so through the summer of 21. So we would hope that we get some pontoons in place and operating by the summer of 22. Clearly, that's about when we'd be starting work on the development. So there would be building work going on through 24, perhaps, I would hope. But I mean, what we've got to be careful about is there's 150 residential units there, and clearly it would be nonsensical to build them all in one go. So we were going to be doing that in phases.
And are they £1 million sort of flats? Or?
Well, not quite. I wish.
High end? I mean, they're not starters.
No, they're not starter flats. No. But yeah, I mean, it would be very nice if it was in the centre of Cowes or the Port Hamble, perhaps. But no, we've got to be realistic, and it's going to be a lot less than that.
I'm old enough to remember the first time they tried for Marina Ramsey. It was more a question that you're going to have it this way. You seem to be doing it the modern way now, the consultation way.
Yeah, and we have gone out. I know Peter Greenlees, who you met a few minutes ago, he and I, and now with David Doricott, we have gone out and done a lot of visiting stakeholders, and as we will be announcing shortly, we're going to have an advisory board of people making up all interests on the island. So this will be an island project, and not just a yachting project, but a leisure project, and an opportunity actually to do something environmentally for the island too.